Good evening, my friends. 1:30. That's the episode we're on. 3 minutes I waited. We got to go and make big boom boom, big boom boom. In search of awesome for those of you that are hanging out with us. Episode 130. Tonight we got another Esti, another prodigy of Victoria Perry, Miss Miss Sunny Reynolds, level 3, Esti. She is the retail bomb, baby. I mean, she's blown out like $3,000 a month. And I just wanted to have her on. She's edgy. I love her. You're going to really enjoy kind of, if the Wi-Fi gods are working for us, you're going to enjoy the conversation that we've got in store for you. Let me just kind of give you some of the general stats. She works at Snips Salon. And as you know, Snips Salon, the founder is Melissa Young. And now Melissa's got a couple of owners. Kelly Myers and Christine Bayless. Summit coach, again, Victoria Perry, because Sunny is one of Victoria's many prodigies, and works 37 hours a week, 30 something, does about $500 a day, not bad for a level 3. That's with retail and service. Look at the RTS, you guys, 44%. She's blown out over $3,000 a month in retail. That's like a primary reason I wanted to have her on. And she's doing some really cool stuff on social media. And she's using this prescriptive experience that continues to be innovated by Summit Salon's spa division. A team leader there would be Victoria Reynolds. Give it up for all those guys, will you? And she's going to tell her story. Graduates in 05, gets her associated arts degree in community college, moves on to get her bachelor's degree in fashion merchandising, does some time for JCP on fashion merchandise, and she just decided her calling is to go to hair school, so she decides to enroll in 2015, and she's been with Snips ever since she's graduated, and she just took some interesting turns, got called to move over from hair into Esti, so just an interesting story. Her social media is really where she's knocking it out. I think, Victoria, you were the one that sigged her on me that I needed to take a peek, and as I did, I really saw some innovative stuff going on there. Her handle is Skin by Sunny on both Instagram as well as Facebook. She's got just under 650 followers on Instagram. The overwhelming majority of her referrals come from her pages. And I thought what we would do if in any given week she's doing 7 to 10 posts a week, and you're going to see various types of posts, just not photography, but also really mixing it up with how she promotes herself, promotes product, promotes her service. I think you'll find it to be interesting. She also is one of the pioneers in using Facebook Lives and talking about skincare. And as I've studied her pages over the last few weeks, I would say that she's one of many estheticians that are using, facial care, almost like turning her pages into a facial care learning channel. I just find her to be interesting as all get up. So I thought what we would do is cross our fingers to make sure that the Wi-Fi gods are working. We'll have her on. She's going to tell us a little bit about her story. We'll go through her strategies and her best practices and see where it takes us. So I'm going to un-Wi-Fi my deal here, and my guy is going to see if he can bring her up. There she is. Why don't you give it up for her, you guys, would you please? Can you hear us? Can you hear me okay?
Yay. Yes, I can hear you really good, actually.
Oh, my gosh. The Wi-Fi gods are nice to us, Sonny. Good to have you on the show.
I'm so happy to be here.
Well, like what we always do, I always like to give the world an appreciation of your life, what it was like and how you got introduced to this work and what your life is now. And then we'll pivot because I'm really excited to get you talking about what you're doing on social and what you're doing behind the chair with Summit's, what is it, the experience, the prescriptive experience. I spent $1,000 on my eyes and now I can't get my damn mouth to work. So what was your life like before you started doing this?
Well, to say the least, I was lost. Right out of high school, I didn't really want to go to college, but that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go to college out of high school. So I chose community college to kind of take some classes and figure out really what I wanted to do when I grew up. Finished community college and decided to go to Iowa State for fashion. So I've always kind of known I wanted to be in the beauty industry. I just kind of went a different route at first. So graduated with fashion merchandising. I absolutely loved everything about the program. Immediately upon graduation, I started working at JCPenney's in Des Moines, Iowa. I was really only there for about 8 months because I just wasn't passionate about it. I just couldn't really get into it. And when I decided to leave, my family thought I was absolutely crazy. I had a 401k, I had full benefits, I was making salary. They're like, what are you doing? But I just couldn't settle. I just could not settle. So I just went back to waitressing. That was always kind of my backup plan. Go back to waitressing while I did some soul searching. Really figured out there wasn't any opportunities in Iowa for me. So I moved out to Atlanta to kind of find myself. Started working in a sales and marketing job, which led me to Birmingham, Alabama. Eventually got burnt out on that job. I wasn't happy. So I left. And then I started researching the internet. I've always been really passionate about beauty. So I'm like, what can I do with that? Maybe I could do hair, even though that terrified me, but I was like, you never know. And I was researching, I saw skincare and then esthetician. I'd never even heard of an esthetician before, ever. I had no idea what it was. As I started to dive a little deeper, I'm like, oh, this is so right up my alley. I struggled with skin growing up. I've always been obsessed with makeup and skincare. So I was like, this has got to be it for me. It's got to be it.
So you decide you're going to pivot from all that. Your parents think you're going insane. So you sign up for beauty school, and you take that ride. And then at some point, something happened. Something happened that started making the difference. Where were the connections at how you got hooked up with Snips and pivoted from hairdressing to Esti?
So I eventually left Alabama and I moved to Minnesota. I have family here and they invited me to come live with them. So that's how I ended up here. And I was working at Chili's in Shakopee. Hey. And there was a bartender there who was an esthetician. And I started asking her a bunch of questions about, aesthetics and everything. And she went to Empire. So I was like, oh yeah, I got to check this out. And I went for a tour and I signed up immediately. I started in the next program. And I was very determined to find a job before I graduated. So I was really looking and I knew I did not want to do a corporate gig. I knew that. I wanted to do something family owned, locally owned. And I found Snips on Craigslist of all places.
Oh my God.
And I applied there and one other place. I don't even remember the other place now, but I only did 2 places. And Snips was my first interview and here I am 3 years later.
And then so now you had some conversations with key people there. You start you engage in the whole summit thing. They start introducing you to the charts, and you were telling me at first it's like, oh, what? But all of a sudden, right, things are clicking. What was that about?
Well, so at first, when I first interviewed at Snips, I met Shannon, one of the senior estheticians, and it was literally like love at first sight. She was like my soul sister. I knew that this was the place to be. So she was the one that did all my training and got me integrated to Snips. And like you said, when I was introduced to the Summit system, I was like, whoa, this is very, very overwhelming, at first. But here's the thing. I'm very much into structure and I like to know where I'm going. So as I started to play with it and using it more, I was like, I'm hooked. I love this. It gives you exactly what to do to where you want to be. I
So
love it.
now, fast forward, you're in a place now, and it sounds like you're jumping time. That you're catching up and getting to a place that's really cool. How is it? How's your life different now than it was, a year, 2, 3 years ago?
Oh, I am so happy. I'm so happy. I am not lost. I have been found. I have managed to turn my passion into a career. I love going to work every day. And Michael, this is the longest job I've ever had. Usually I stay at a job maybe a year to 2 years, and that's about it. And I end up moving on. So being at Snips for 3 years really shows you that I found my place, and I really love what I do.
So what's next for you? Where do you go from here? What's the next year unfold for Sunny?
Well, I am really excited to work with Victoria Perry as she's kind of expanding on the Summit Spa division, and hopefully will grow into an Esti coach under her supervision. So I'm really, really excited to be able to give back and, help other estheticians and coach people along the way.
I love it. So last words. I mean, before we move on to best practices, what do you have to say to somebody that's starting out now that you know what you that you didn't know when you started out? Somebody that's in WTF mode, 2, 3 years behind you. Give them some hope.
Seriously, my biggest advice is keep hustling, keep going, just keep going. That's my biggest thing. It's hard at first, especially starting out. It's really hard. But the thing is the more you hustle, the more you put yourself out there, the more you talk about your career, your job, what you're doing, the more easy it gets.
I love it. Yeah.
Really use your coworkers. That support system is huge.
Yeah, you're our 130th interview, and as we tell stories, that your story is very much like many others. That it takes a little time to find our mojo, to get into the groove, and once we do, we just cruise. And you're right. You got to keep the faith. You got to grind it out. Sooner or later, you hit it, and when it happens, later comes sooner than you think. But it's like at first, it's like, okay, where's this going? So let's pivot into your best practices. I know you got 4 or 5 keys. And I'm just loving as we go on your key. I want you to talk about this one because you're doing some before and after work with the eyes and services around eyes and eyebrow makeovers and etc. Tell us about that.
Well, people are visual. They like to see results. So posting before and afters, people love that. And when people see that on social media, my clients, I do have them bring in and they're like, I want this. And they show me their phone,
Right.
So people are visual. So it's good to have that on your
I love that. They'll see your work on your page, show up on their news feed. They'll come in with their mobiles out on this page, on this picture, and say, hey, I want this. Give this to me. So this really sells a lot of services for you, yes?
Oh, absolutely.
What about I want to show them some edgy stuff. And, as I was kind of browsing your page, I found this one. I got 99 problems, but a hairy bikini line ain't one of them. And I just loved it. I mean, it was just so cool. What is it? Tell us what that is and what that did for you.
Those posts are the ones that get the most reaction, the most comments, the most likes, the most shares. My clients are like, oh, that post was hilarious. So really, those are the ones that are getting the most hype. And, people are scared of body waxing. They're terrified of that kind of stuff. So to kind of make light of it, people really enjoy that. And now people are like, you know what, maybe I will try that bikini wax that I wouldn't have tried before. Let's do it. Why not?
All right. Well, this next shot, really, we're taking it up and you're really kind of pushing the boundaries and really some edgy stuff. I want you to talk about what this is. And there's actually a couple of posts there and what it did for you because you really took it to the max on this one.
Yeah, when I saw the Barbie one specifically, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. I think it was like right about spring break time too. So that Barbie one, I added the spring cleaning, and then that's the Snips phone number. And people thought it was hilarious. I got lots of messages. People thought that was great. So that's getting a lot of people to come to my page. And then the other one, I mean, that is just so relatable. Lacy pants, expectation versus reality. Like, that's relatable. Any woman, you get that, you know?
So clients come in, they see it, it really creates energy. Did it lead to services and product sales for you? Because that's really the bottom line.
Oh, yeah, totally. People are talking about, and at least it starts the discussion. They're like, hey, I saw this post. You know what? Tell me about a bikini wax. What does that involve? You know, so at least it's starting the discussion. It's planting the idea in their head so that if they're not getting it right in that moment, that is totally a future service.
And then we've got one. I really like this little pie chart here. It's and I'm going to be posting this on my page. Thoughts during a facial, and you got some really kind of cool one-liners there. I'm assuming, you know, you're giving them a facial. They're in blitz and they're thinking about what maybe you're thinking about. I hear things like, I need this room scent in my house. I should do this once a month. I have to pee. You know, maybe I should be a facialist. Gee, don't fall asleep. I promise I'll do, I promise I do take off my makeup every night. Are you judging me? So what was that about? And when you posted it, what kind of feedback and what kind of sales did it lead to?
Oh, people absolutely love that one because once again, it's so relatable. Every single one of my clients has had one or all of those thoughts before. So people like that. So they know I'm not the only one that's having those thoughts or thinking these things during the facial. So I just think it makes it just more real life.
I love it because really what you're saying is as your guest or your potential guest see this content, they're going, oh my God, that's so true. Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we call it the proverbial blinding flash of the obvious. Now, I want to pivot a little bit when they're in your chair, and this is what Victoria calls the prescriptive experience, and you have just an extraordinary little chart there that it's where you're talking about the difference between over-the-counter product and the product that you sell, which in this case is BioElements. Talk about that and what that led to in sales for you.
So I really wanted to make it very easy for people to see the difference between their over-the-counter products, what they're getting at the drugstore versus what I'm using in the facial and what they should be taking home with them so that they can see it. It's very easy. And when you put it side by side like that, it's really hard to deny, like, you know what, this will make a big difference for me. I see the value in my professional skincare. And then using that to lead into, okay, this is where your skin is now. This is where you want it to be. This is how we're going to get there. And by using these products at home, that's what's going to make the difference to extend the life of your facial.
I think we're all beginning to get an appreciation and understand appreciation of how you're yielding $3,000 a month in product. And then you give like on this fourth key, you give like 5 little pointers about, and the essence is you're saying keep it really, really simple. And you talk about your basic 4. Give us the essence of what that means.
So my clients, like you said, I keep it very, very simple. I always let them know they don't need 1,000 products to have healthy skin. They need the basic 4, the cleanser, the toner, the moisturizer, and the exfoliant, as long as they are professional products and they are designed for your skin type. Now, when they do get that basic 4, I'm literally sitting down and I'm writing their AM, their PM, and their 1 time a week routine and how much they should use of each product, because I don't want them to overuse the products at all, and I want them to use them correctly. Because if they go home and use the products incorrectly, then they're going to have a negative connotation with those products. And when they get home, I tell them so much stuff, they don't remember what I say. Yeah. So then if they have it on a notebook laid out for them, super simple. They don't even have to think about it.
You know, as you're talking, I'm looking at what's coming in on commentary. Your sales consultant Peter says Sonny Reynolds in salon is the top BioElements person in the salon, and as well as Minnesota. And then you've got Katrina Wolf is saying, this is so freaking smart. So she's like hyperventilating.
Yeah. Yeah.
So really, those are your keys. And I know you're just. I think you're getting warmed up. I think wherever you're at now, it's going to pale in comparison to 2-3 months from now. I would like to stay close to you and check
Sure.
in with you after the first year, see how you finish this year. I'm going to watch you. You're on my feed. I follow you real close. I want you to keep pushing the envelope and then come back and see us for an encore.
You got it.
Well, this has been extraordinary. I think you're edgy. I love the look. I love your energy. I love your consciousness. So keep on keeping on. Say hi to all my buddies at Snips, and say hi to Melissa, and because everybody knows her, and they're saying hi to her as well. So thanks again, and let's give it up one more time, will you, for Sonny Reynolds, you guys.
Thank you.
Great interview, Sonny. It was a great interview. You made big boom boom.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to end the meeting and then just wrap this up, and we'll be in touch.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Let's give it up for one more time, you guys. That was an amazing. Now, I just think her stuff is so edgy. I just want to like pull it up and see if I can get it on my widescreen, because what she's really talking about here in her post, I think, is just nothing short of extraordinary. So this was her first key, the before and after, and she's saying just that. Guests come in with their mobiles out and they're going, look, can you make me look that way? So I just love how she's making that work. And then I just love that she's posting in a way that when people see her post, her clients or prospective clients, they're going, oh my God, that's so true. So to some conservative people, it's over the edge, it's over the top. But I love this. I've got 99 problems, but hairy bikini lines ain't one of them. And then she takes it even up one more. I mean, to me, this is like pushing it to the limit. There are a Brazilian reasons to get waxed. Lacy pants, expectations versus reality, and she's saying that her clients can go, I can relate to that. Fix that for me, right? As well as spring clean waxing humor. This looks like this was on her highlights feature on her Instagram page. So follow her again. Her handle on Instagram is right here. Oop, I gotta like really scroll here. Here it is. There it is. Skin by Sunny. Follow her, watch her highlights, watch all of her stuff, because like I said, I think she's over the top. So give it up for her one more time. And if you're new to us, the channel that you're on now, Michael Cole Summit is my last name now. Hang on this page, because we are vlogging daily. It's become, many people are saying that this is the Facebook channel. It's almost like a learning channel for salon and spas that really want to continue to evolve and take advantage of the whole social digital revolution that we're on. And again, the handle is Michael Cole Summit on both Facebook and Instagram. Now, I really hope that, especially if you're new to us and you're going, okay, who are these people and what are they about? Go to summitsalon.com and just navigate those pages on that .com, because there's some really, really, really cool stuff in store for people. Like number one, we've got you can really take advantage of our mobile calculators, which basically it's a calculator where you dial in how much money you want to clear a year. It converts it to what you need to do a year behind the chair, and then automatically breaks it down by the month, by the week, by the day, so that you can begin to plan your day to make bigger pay, and taking advantage of our what we're calling our social digital planner. as well as our textbook as well. If you hang out on summitsalon.com/MC Live, this is really where our learning channels happen. And you'll find that tonight was our 130th episode, and it goes all the way down to 129, 128, from the newest all the way down to its first. So and this is all like at no charge, you guys. So you really want to take advantage of this. If you're not into watching the webisode, Bluetooth your mobile device to your car and use it as a podcast. So you see just the audio track, because you get as much out of the audio track as watching the webinar itself. And 2-3 minutes, 5 minutes on the way to work in the morning, it really kind of gets you into that consciousness where when you're going to work, you're not starting out cold. So I really hope that you'll take advantage of that. We always end it by thanking our sponsors, and that is L'Oreal PPD and their product lines, from Redken to Purology to Matrix to L'Oreal Professional to Baxter, Kerastase, Esti, Mazzani, Shoe. They continue to demonstrate their financial support, and frankly, that financial support allows Summit to continue to evolve its work and bring programs like this to you, which is just, off the charts. So please support them, buy their stuff, use their stuff, sell their stuff, because when that happens, they continue to make the kind of demonstrations to us that allow us to do what we're doing. This is their distribution family, starting with Salon Centric, and then of course State RDA and RDA Promart. So give it up for all these guys. It's like, I think you express gratitude. And then last but not least, this is Summit Salon Business Center. We're all a part of the team. Christy Valenzuela's on tonight. Randy Kunkel's on tonight. Our team, our board of directors, Heather Bagby, Dave Kirby, Peter Mahoney, Glenn Baker, Gavin Salisbury, Mary Cole, Sharon Kunkel. There's just a team of us that continue to meet and scale and strategize this. So thank you very much for them being who they are. It's just extraordinary to hang out with them. So I'm going to say good night and then welcome to see you next week.